She was 12 years old. Found hanging from a tree in the yard of her family home in Buenos Aires. Dead by her own hands. A short life, snuffed out in an instant. A short life, seemingly ended by a menacing, deformed face that was appearing on social media feeds across the world. From India to Edinburgh and beyond, a mysterious game was being played by an unknown game master through the popular WhatsApp messaging service. And it seemed like people were literally dying to play. According to those involved in the investigation into the death of the 12-year-old girl, she had been in contact with someone known only as MOMO via WhatsApp, sending them photos, pictures, and messages about her activities, right up until the moment she took her life. The police managed to gain access to her phone, but even with this wealth of footage, they were still unable to trace the individual who had been sending the messages. As far as they knew, it was an 18-year-old male whom the victim had met online. But beyond this, the trail went cold. All that was known for certain at this point was that the dead girl had been taking part in something called the MOMO Challenge. It appeared that the unknown messenger was trying to convince the young girl to take her own life, documenting the whole process with the sole intent of posting it to social media. The young girl's lifeless body was reported on Sunday the 22nd of July 2018, with the story being published by local press 3 days later. Coincidentally, that same month saw uploads by popular YouTubers discussing the issue, each giving their own take on the so-called MOMO Challenge, and treating it with varying degrees of seriousness. This increase in awareness of MOMO and the disturbing image associated with it led many to look into its origins. Others would interact with the phone numbers associated with the MOMO Challenge, but typically didn't receive any response, or anything useful whatsoever. Even mainstream outlets like Fox News eventually got involved, comparing the alleged game to other sinister social media pranks such as the Blue Whale Challenge, and shining a light on the subject for a moment. Things seemed to die down a bit over the following months, until February of 2019, when a mother from Scotland claimed that her 8-year-old son had been caught with a knife to his neck. The boy told his mother that a face on his phone told him to do it, and showed her the picture he had received. It was Momo. The same distorted features, the same bugging eyes and manic grin that the young girl in Argentina had seen just before taking her own life. Around the same time, there were rumors of 2 Bengali teens who'd taken their own lives due to Momo. An 11-year-old boy dies of a drug overdose in the Philippines, again allegedly due to Momo. A case in France occurred where another child took their own life, and similar stories occurred in Spain, Canada, Britain, and South America. Momo was spreading fast. Schools were issuing warnings to parents and children about this seemingly murderous game. Media outlets salivated at the slight suggestion Momo was involved, and the whole situation became a moral panic throughout the world. And then, just as quickly as it arose, Momo vanished, only reappearing on meme sites in places like Reddit and 4chan, typically repurposed for more benign, even positive messages. It was eventually explained away as an urban legend, with no real basis in reality. However, questions remain unanswered to this day. How many lives did the Momo Challenge truly claim? How many near misses was Momo really responsible for? And what exactly is a Momo anyway? Let's cut to the chase here. The Momo Challenge and the associated images are, put simply, a load of nonsense. It's a modern urban myth, right up there with the killer clowns who would come to your school or the Blue Star acid myth, but it's been adapted for the modern age. In the past, it was all word of mouth. Someone would know someone who knew someone who said that they managed to get away from the killer clowns, usually accompanied by some sort of Bruce Lee-style fisticuffs, just to add some edge to the story. Nowadays, though, we all have mobile devices, social media, and all manner of apps through which we effectively control our lives, and on which we can usually be contacted at any time. With MOMO, we saw a perfect storm. Social media and mobile devices, amplifying word of mouth so that a new audience gets to take part in the creation of this post-urban legend, thus amplifying it exponentially across the world. The image we all came to know as MOMO was never created by Midori Hayashi, as many claimed when it first appeared. It was instead created by Keisuke Iso, another Japanese artist working with the Luck Factory group at the time. In 2016, the artist produced a sculpture, which was never even called MOMO, as part of an exhibition in Tokyo. The original sculpture was even more macabre than the headshot most people are familiar with. It was a statue of a ghost, and actually a positive force, apparently, in the form of a vaguely chicken-like human torsoed thing. By 2018, though, the original statue had been disposed of due to the deteriorating condition of the materials used to build it. The artist involved would take efforts to distance himself from the phenomena that came to be associated with his work, understandably, and was happy when the statue was finally destroyed. While it's true that the MOMO challenge was a modern, albeit brief version of the satanic panic of the 80s, it still led to the deaths of innocent children. And those who propagated the myth as truth for online clout should be ashamed of themselves. The YouTubers and influencers who bought into the nonsense, pretending like they were taking part in influencing young people to follow their lead, should seriously consider their intentions and perception of life. The fact is that several deaths occurred, either directly or indirectly related to MOMO and the mythology that surrounds it. It was an urban myth, a spark that the media turned into a blaze with their scaremongering in the absence of facts. The obsession with shock and horror turned into clickbait by scurrilous so-called journalists who don't care for the victims, only for the ad revenue. Anyway, the moral of the story is, don't believe everything you read, see, or hear online.